So Corona have a new version of their 10-inch folding saw. My old one is about due for replacement. They say the new one cuts better. Let's find out. So a few immediate comparisons. Number one is the eyelet hole for a string is larger and easier to access. Number two is, one of the points they made is that the teeth are fully concealed in the new saw, whereas on the old saw, some of them were exposed. Overall length looks to be nearly identical, which is great because it works really well in all my hydration packs. Overall dimensions seem to be very similar. The release mechanism works easily, just as it did on the original saw. And it folds up nice and tight. Next thing let's do is check the weight of the two saws, or the mass. We'll use grams. So my original saw and the new saw. And as I mentioned, this fits well in all my various hydration packs, this size of saw. And it's the longest saw I can comfortably fit in my packs, which gives me maximum cutting diameter, while still making it easy to manage in all my various packs. So here's the dead tree we're going to use to do a little sample cutting. I'm going to throw a jack stand under there first, so number one, to get the tree up off the ground for camera angle, but also to keep the saws from hitting the dirt. First thing we'll do is use the old saw to lop off just below the crotch. I'm going to use a stopwatch. I could use a timer on my phone, but this thing's way easier to handle with one hand. So I'm going to cut through both of them and find out how long it takes. I'll start with the old saw. I'm also going to put my Garmin on my right wrist, which is my cutting hand. I hope that by putting it into sport strength mode, it will count each stroke as a repetition. So let's find out. Strength, we should be good to go. Shows 32 seconds and 79 repetitions. New saw did it in 15 seconds, or about half the time, and 33 saw strokes, less than half the saw strokes. Cut time, 26 seconds. Cut strokes, 74. Time, 12 seconds. Strokes, 32. So how can I tell I need a new saw? Well, it's cutting slower, of course, but people talk about sawdust, Very few saws should throw dust. What they should throw is chips. Let me put a black glove down there and catch a few of these. Actually, the wind is drifting it over onto my other glove. So this is what the saw chips look like from the old saw. And here's what they look like from the new saw. So here's the new saw. Here's the old saw. It's hard to see, but there is a slight difference in the size of the saw chips. Mainly I could just feel that it was getting dull. A better indicator that the new saw is taking larger chips is that I had to move the glove closer to the saw to collect the sawdust. Because the chips were larger, they were heavier. Because they were heavier, they didn't carry as far on the air currents. This old saw has served me well for a lot of years, probably 20 years or more. I think it was maybe 14 bucks. I bought it at Lowe's here in town. It's been a good saw. Could I have brought it somewhere and had the teeth sharpened and set? Yeah, probably. But I saw that Corona was advertising a new saw with new steel, and I thought I'd give it a try. So I did, picked up the new one. This I think I bought online, and I do like it better. There are a number of things I like about it. Obviously, I think it cuts better than the old saw did. Even when the old saw was new, I think that this one performs better. I like the larger eyelet. I like the fact that when the blade is in the handle, it is fully in the handle. The old saw left some teeth exposed, which would often snag on things. I think it's the right size. There are smaller saws available that are more compact, but they also cut smaller limbs. They don't cut the same diameter that this one will, and they don't have as long of a stroke. I like that this one cuts on the pull stroke. So when you're cutting, it's cutting in as you pulling the saw towards you, which makes it much easier to cut. There are larger saws, those with folding frames. They're fine if you're going to go car camping, but if you want to put something in a backpack or a hydration pack, which I do, and carry it around with you, they're quite heavy and they're quite large. So this, I think, is the happy medium. Is there a better saw out there? You know, I'm sure there is. I'm sure that someone in Switzerland or Japan or someplace is making saws that are vastly superior to this. But there's a couple of reasons that I opt for this. Number one, it's easily available. Number two, it's very affordable, although I think it's twice the cost of what I spent for the first one. But that's still well within reasonable price. The other thing is, I'm not going to spend my cognitive capital researching folding camp saws. I don't see that that makes a giant difference in my quality of life or in the quality of life of the people around me. So I know this one works. It works better than the first one. It was easy to get. It's affordable. I'll stuff it in my pack. And we're heading into spring, so I'll carry this with me most of the rides for the next several months. Spring is when we have a lot of blowdowns and deadfall and so forth on the trails. And I feel like as a responsible trail user, part of my cost that I pay to use those trails, mountain biking particularly and hiking, is to help in the maintenance of them. So if there's something small that I can cut and clear the trail, this is perfect for doing that. If you feel the same way that I do and you're looking for a saw that you can use for that purpose, this is a good one. I highly recommend it. I hope you got value from this video. If you did, please click like, share the video if you would, and click the little bell icon, subscribe, and click the little bell icon so that you get notified when I post new videos. What saw do you use? Do you use a saw? Do you see value in packing a saw with you? Do you think this one might have merit? Do you think this one would work for you? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, I'm Rich Reese, and I'll see you out there.
What differentiates you in your market? Whether suppliers of goods or services, many businesses rely on their unique use of technology to provide value to their customers. If this describes you, I can help ensure your promotional and marketing materials clearly explain these benefits. Don't fall into the popular trap of piling on superlatives and somehow thinking this will build your business. You need meaningful content. Developing that content is what I do. For more information, contact me by email at richreesemedia@gmail.com. That's richreesemedia@gmail.com.